What's up my wild ones, welcome back to a new video. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Taryn and I'm an ecologist and herpetologist, and I love making reptile related content. In today's video we're going to do something very exciting, because one of the ways you can herp, in other words look for reptiles, is by checking pools and water channels and empty wells. That's what I love to do for a couple of reasons. One, you can find a lot of cool species in these areas, and two, you can also try to rescue them, because sometimes that's what they need. Not always, but we will get back to that later in the video when I show you a species that actually found a very nice habitat in one of these pools. Now, this pool right here is actually not a pool, it's a water basin, and you can find them all over the Sierra Nevada and actually all over Spain and much of southern Europe. They use these water basins to hold the water for either the crops that they grow, in this case I think it's olive trees, but also the cattle and basically everything that has to do with the farming. And sometimes it's not a death trap, sometimes it's actually an oasis for life, but this pool in particular is problematic for a couple of reasons. One, the walls are extremely high and extremely steep, so anything that falls in here that doesn't fly or that can't jump really high is trapped in here. There is some vegetation, so there is shelter, but there is no water. This is completely dry, so what will happen is the animals will die of thirst. So in that case you can do something to help them, and this is what my friend is doing here in this area, and something that I find absolutely awesome. So that is what I'm going to show you right now. So as I said, it's not always necessary to intervene in these kind of areas, but in this case, this pool is really a death trap. So my friend decided to take action and actually make a ramp, which got a little bit of texture to it, so that lizards, snakes, even rabbits, any animal basically that falls into this pit can walk out, and it's quite sturdy material. It's got something like a little fake grass on top of it to make sure that the animals can hold on to it and don't slide back down. And at first the landowner was like, what are you doing? This is my property, I don't want you here. And then my friend explained, look, this is not only good for the reptiles but also for the rabbits in this area, for any other animal that falls into this trap. Can I please build this on your property and check every once in a while how it's going? And that's what he's been doing all over the Sierra Nevada, and I think that's absolutely awesome, and I can't wait to show you more. That my friend built is working, because we've been searching this water basin and nothing is in here except for some grasshoppers. So that's a bad sign for us, because we want to find a very special species of lizard. But on the other hand, I love it because that shows that these ramps really work, and that's what we want. We want reptiles to be safe, and we don't want them to die of thirst in these pits. So that's awesome.
Used
So we are making our way through the mountains of the Sierra Nevada, and all over these mountains you can find these water basins. And the farmers use these water basins to keep water for their cows, because there's cows everywhere here. So what we like to do is we like to check these pools to see if there's any wildlife stuck in there. And sometimes you're too late. I mean, there is a dead martyr over there. He obviously couldn't get out, so he died. But also sometimes there are snakes in here, lizards that can get out and will die. Now we found this little guy, and actually he is quite lucky, because for him this is the perfect habitat. This is a viper and water snake, and as you can see we have water here with a lot of shelter in the form of all sorts of plants, but also a dry piece if it wants to get onto the dry land. And this pool is filled with literally thousands and thousands of tadpoles, which is the favorite food of this snake. So basically he's got everything he needs in this pool: the water, the shelter, the food, some basking areas. So this guy actually does not need to be rescued from this pool, but it's cool to show him to you guys. So he can feed on all this delicious prey that are right here. I don't know if you can get it onto the film, but there's literally thousands and thousands of tadpoles here. So this snake is actually quite happy here. He can grow really large. He has plenty of space to move, so I will release him back into this water basin. If we found, let's say, a malpolon or another snake species that really likes to live on the land, or a lizard species, we would have taken it out and released it elsewhere so it doesn't drown in the pool or doesn't starve to death. But this little guy, he has found a lucky spot. Now I'm going to release it for you guys on the edge of the water, so you can actually see how it swims. Hopefully he will show off his cool skills. And let's see the viper and water snake. Off you go, buddy. Oh, he's posing. Another cool fact about these snakes is that they mimic the vipers. So lots of people actually confuse them with the venomous vipers. And that's a very smart tactic. Whoa, there he goes. One happy snake. Awesome stuff. We are here at another pool, and this is actually one of the problematic ones. This is what I call a death trap. This place is a literal graveyard. There's a piece of whatever there's left of a rabbit. There's just bones everywhere, but most saddening to me are the skeletons of these guys. This is the Sierra Nevada lizard. They are absolutely stunning animals. They are the ones that I want to show you in this video, but preferably live ones that I can tell you all sorts of cool stuff about. This just makes me really sad. Here are two big males, and they didn't die of hunger because there's still grasshoppers in here and still stuff that they can eat. They died because of thirst, and that's one of the worst ways to die. They're two beautiful giant males. Actually, this is the biggest lizard you can find in Europe, and it's just absolutely heartbreaking to see them here, and thinking of what they went through just makes me sick to my stomach. And that's why it's so important to do this work, not only to tell you about this, but to give you tips on how you can change this, how you can prevent this from happening in your area. And actually this is one of the pools where my friend already built a structure like this one, and these skeletons were already here when he came here last time, and now we only found one live Sierra Nevada lizard that went in here. So what we try to do now is we put on many more rocks. We make this more sturdy, but my gut feeling says that this is working because there's only one lizard in here, and that's not a lot for such a large and deep pool. So I really hope that by improving the structure now, that the little guy that's now in here will find his way out. So this is one of the things that you can do in your area. If you also have these death structures, you can try to build anything. It doesn't have to be, it doesn't have to look like this, but anything that will help them to get out, find a way out, and then they will be fine. And now I really hope I can also show you a live Sierra Nevada lizard.